Here is what the fitness industry consistently misses about women over 50. Glute flattening after menopause is not a fitness problem. It is a neurological and structural one. And until you address it at that level, no amount of squats or walking or resistance training will meaningfully change the shape of your hips. The root cause is your pelvis. And today, I'm going to show you 3 movements that fix the root cause of glute loss in women over 50. No gym, no equipment, done in the right order. Stay through the third one because it targets the one muscle most responsible for the shape on the outer hip. And it is the one muscle that virtually every standard exercise program never reaches. Before any exercise, stand up. Put your thumbs on the bony points at the top of your hips. Look in a mirror. Is one thumb sitting higher than the other? Does one side of your hip look flatter or more hollow? If yes, your pelvis is not sitting straight. And that unevenness is directly stopping your glutes from switching on properly during exercise, not a little. A lot. Here's why that happens. After menopause, estrogen drops, but what most women do not know is that estrogen also helps carry the signal from your brain to your muscles, keeping that communication fast and reliable. When estrogen falls, that signal gets weaker. The hips and glutes feel it most because they were already struggling against years of sitting that had slowly been pulling the pelvis out of its natural position. When the pelvis shifts, and it does this gradually with no pain, no warning, the body quietly reorganizes itself. The lower back picks up some of the slack. The hip flexors take on more. The thighs fill in the rest. The glutes get skipped, not because they're too weak to work, because the instruction to work is no longer reaching them. That is why the results stopped. The effort was never the problem. The signal was being cut off before it ever reached the muscle. A 2019 study in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy tested glute activation in women with uneven pelvic alignment while they performed standard glute exercises. The glutes were barely firing, not because the exercises were wrong, but because the pelvis was already blocking the signal before the movement even started. Doing more reps will not fix this. The only fix is to get the pelvis back into position first, then rebuild the connection to the muscle, then add the work. That is exactly what these 3 exercises do. Exercise 1. Wall hinge with lateral shift. Stand with your back to a wall, about 1 big step away. Feet shoulder width apart, toes pointing just slightly inward. Knees relaxed, hands on your hips. Bend forward at the hips and slide back until your bottom lightly touches the wall. Your chest will naturally tip forward a little. That is fine. Now, slowly rock your hips to the left. No rushing. Feel something switch on at the right outer hip. Rock back to center. Now to the right. Feel the left side. Back to center. Stand back up. That is 1 rep. Do 8 to 10 reps. 2 sets. If you feel unsteady, rest your fingertips on a chair in front of you. What to avoid? Moving your shoulders with your hips. Your upper body stays completely still. Only your hips move. If your chest is swaying side to side, you have lost the target. What to feel? A small, specific switch on at the outer hip. Not your back, not your thighs, just the outer hip. That is the signal coming back on. This is not about burning or exhaustion. It is about waking the muscle up before asking it to do any real work. Think of it as the warm-up for the brain, not the body. A 2021 study in physical therapy and sport found that this type of gentle pelvic movement improved glute activation in older women in as little as 2 weeks. Small movement, real effect. Exercise 2. Wall-facing squat with calf raise. Turn and face the wall this time. Stand about 1 big step away. Feet a little wider than your hips, toes turned out slightly. Both hands resting lightly on the wall in front of you at shoulder height. Bend your knees and lower yourself down slowly. Chest up, knees moving in the same direction as your toes. Go down about halfway. Do not force it deeper than what feels comfortable. At the bottom, slowly rise up onto your toes. Hold there for 1 or 2 seconds. Lower your heels back down. Then push through your feet and stand back up. 10 to 12 reps, 2 to 3 sets. The whole time, gently push your knees outward. That small outward push keeps the outer glute working throughout. What to avoid? Your knees or face touching the wall. If that happens, step back a little and lift your chest. What to feel? The back of your hips and outer glutes doing the work. If your knees are aching, shift your weight slightly back toward your heels. When women squat without a wall, the body automatically leans forward to stay balanced. That lean quietly moves all the effort onto the knees instead of the glutes. And it happens without you ever noticing. The wall stops that from happening. Your chest stays up. Your glutes have to do the work. One simple change makes this completely different from a regular squat. The rise onto the toes at the bottom adds a balance challenge that most exercises skip. A 2022 study in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that adding a balance element to lower body exercises improved both muscle tone and fall resilience in women over 60. No added weight needed. Exercise 3. Standing hip abduction with pelvic control. Stand next to a wall or sturdy chair. One hand resting on it lightly, just enough to feel steady. Feet hip-width apart. Stand tall, no leaning to either side. Before you lift your leg, gently pull your lower belly in. Not a big squeeze, just a soft, quiet tightening. That small action locks your pelvis in place, so it does not tip when your leg lifts. Now slowly lift your outer leg out to the side. Foot flexed or relaxed, whichever feels natural. Only lift as high as you can without your body tilting sideways. Stop there. Hold for 1 second. Then bring it back down slowly. The way down is just as important as the way up. Do not drop the leg. 10 to 12 reps each side, 2 to 3 sets. What to avoid? Swinging the leg up or letting your body tip sideways as it rises. The moment your torso leans, the wrong muscle has taken over. Bring the leg down, stand tall again, and lift with less height but more control. What to feel? A slow burn building on the outer hip, not your lower back, not the front of your hip, the outer side specifically. If it starts to shake or feel heavy around rep 8 or 9, the right muscle is working. The hollow on the side of your hips, that caved-in look, is the gluteus medius. It sits on the outer hip and is responsible for the curved, full shape that disappears after 50. Squats and lunges barely touch it. This movement goes straight to it. A 2020 paper in the Journal of Human Kinetics found that this exercise produced far higher gluteus medius activation than any compound movement, making it one of the most important exercises for women over 50 and one of the most consistently left out of their programs. The first exercise wakes the glutes back up. The second builds strength now that the muscle is actually switched on. The third goes after the specific part of the hip that every other exercise misses completely. 2 to 3 times a week. Stick with it for weeks, not just a few days. The first thing most women notice is not a change in how they look. It is a change in how they move. More steadiness on uneven ground. Getting up from a low chair without that struggle. Feeling solid on stairs in a way that was not there 6 weeks ago. That is not random. That is the body rebuilding something real underneath. If this helped you make sense of something you have been pushing at for a long time with nothing to show for it, pass it on to a woman you know who is dealing with the same thing. And drop a comment below. Tell me where you are right now. What you have already tried. What has not moved the needle. Because the point of this is not how your body looks in the mirror. It is how your body holds up through the years ahead. Moving without pain, staying strong without injury, living without having to think twice before every step. That is what these 3 movements are building.